Thinking we'll put the pool here.
Okay.
Yeah?
Perfect.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll set up the pool together just like we're setting it up at someone's home.
Yeah.
And then we'll just get in it and start chatting.
Okay.
When was the last time you set up a pool?
It was actually a really long time ago. Training the partners to do this.
Always blow the bottom up first.
Always blow the bottom up first.
Let's say I'm having another baby.
Excellent.
And I would be calling you.
I'm ready.
Then how does that look like then for me with my appointments?
So the good thing now is that women don't need a GP referral anymore.
Yeah.
So when they actually find out they're pregnant, or even if they're planning a pregnancy, they can actually reach out to a home birth midwife at that point.
Yeah.
So sometimes women will reach out really early. I had a woman contact me yesterday.
Yeah.
She was 1 day pregnant.
Oh, bless her.
1 day.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're looking at the middle of next year.
Yeah.
And so she didn't realise that I was able to then offer her any referrals for any scans that she wanted. If she wanted a dating scan, I was able to do that. Her antenatal bloods, anything like that in the early pregnancy. I can do all of that for her. So some women are booking in very early and then they're being penciled in. And the first visit is usually between 12 and 14 weeks.
Yeah.
The visits are monthly at the beginning. So there's usually 2 visits, and then if women are choosing to have the morphology scan, which most women choose, then the 3rd visit would be after that, where we would review all of that information.
Yeah.
And then later in the pregnancy, as the pregnancy goes on, the visits get closer together. So from about 28 weeks, the gap gets smaller. So 28 weeks, 31 weeks, 34, 36, 38.
Yeah.
And then for first-time mums, 39, 40.
Yeah.
For second-time mums, sometimes there's still another 2-week gap depending on what's happening.
Yeah.
And then that antenatal care is provided until the baby's born.
Yeah.
So most women have their babies by 42 weeks. Occasionally they don't.
Yeah.
And if the woman's happy to continue with the pregnancy, then we would continue care.
So given that you have worked in a hospital model of care as a hospital midwife, and now you're looking at supporting women in a home birth model of care, what is the difference clinically, or is there any difference between supporting women clinically through their pregnancy with you in private practice as opposed to a public hospital model, for example?
The basic care is the same.
Yeah.
So we know that antenatal care is actually really important, and that is a big part of what changes outcomes.
Yeah.
I guess the main difference is the way the information is shared.
Yeah.
And the time that we spend with women, and the importance of building a relationship.
Yeah.
So if I have a woman who books me later in her pregnancy because she's been in another model of care, even though she's had antenatal care, for me it's really important then that we build a relationship so that by the time she's birthing her baby, that we have a mutual trust and respect for each other. And so if that was later in the pregnancy, then I see that it's very important to do extra visits at that time to make sure that part of that relationship is built and is strong.
Yeah.
So that is key, and obviously that isn't the same in a hospital setting, especially if women are seeing antenatal midwives who won't be at their birth. But even in an MGP model, the way the information gets shared, there's more bound by policy rather than bound by the women.
Yeah.
So that's the part that changes.
Yeah.
The actual care, you know, doing blood pressure checks, listening to the baby, talking to the woman about her baby's movements, any routine blood tests that the woman's happy to engage with, what gets offered and what they can decline. All of that information is shared, it's just shared in a different way.
Yeah. Just for the purposes of clarifying that, just because it's being offered by the hospital doesn't mean that that's keeping you safer.
No.
No.
And we know that every hospital is different.
Yeah.
So you may even have 2 hospitals in the same umbrella of like the same district that may offer different routine things to women. Or you may have 2 hospitals beside each other, 15 minutes away, that are offering different things. So no, it's not about safety, because home birth, the way that information is shared in a home birth setting is based on evidence and research.
Yeah. So for women that have, that are really keen, but they've got their husband or their partner or another family member that's saying no, how do you manage that? Like if a woman calls you and says, oh, Lu, I really want to do this, but how do we talk to my partner? How do we get them on board? What do you suggest there?
Watch birth time.
Yeah.
Number one. Hello. Watch birth time. And then I feel like it's valid that people have questions not everyone's on board.
Yeah.
I think that's a really valid thing. But knowledge is power.
Yeah.
So it's about sharing information that can help someone to make an informed decision or to support their partner.
Yeah.
I truly believe that women are in charge of what happens to them in their bodies, but I also believe it's important that partners are on board and supportive of the decision making.
Yeah. What about women that are planning a vaginal birth after a cesarean section, VBAC?
Yep, amazing.
VBAC at home.
Love it.
Great. What about women that have had an IVF pregnancy?
Totally fine.
Women over 40?
So fine.
Gestational diabetes?
Fine. So these are all conversations. So by saying fine, I'm saying I've supported women in all of those scenarios.
Yeah.
But every woman's individual. So we're looking at every woman's whole history and then making a plan, looking at safety. Is it safe? There's certain women that it would be safer for them to birth in a hospital. That is the reality.
Yeah.
If most women started in this model of care and then transitioned into another model of care if they needed to, I truly believe with my whole heart that we would have much better outcomes for women and babies, physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
All of it, every layer.
Yeah. I see a massive difference between the way dads experience birth at home versus how they experience birth in the hospital. And look, I support incredible births at the hospital, but there is a whole other layer of what they experience at home. And what do you see play out with dads?
I feel like with dads and partners, because I worked as a doula before, and now as a home birth midwife, walking into the homes, which is obviously what we do in both of those roles, and spending time there, often the partners are at the beginning just freaking out, even though we've had all of the conversations and even though they've done some of their own research potentially or listened to some podcasts or whatever, there's this element of like, oh, what's going on? And thank God you're here. Like, what do we do now? And then them just landing as they realise that, okay, this person's calm, this must be okay. So that part's similar for me with walking in from both of those scenarios.
Because they've got a relationship with you too.
Yeah,
so when you arrive, it's so different to arriving to people that you don't know.
Exactly.
When you arrive, they're like, oh, it's Lu.
Yeah.
And Lu knows everything about us.
Yes.
And
she's so relaxed right now.
She's so chill. And if she's going to get a cup of tea, everything must be good.
Yeah. Or she's just guiding some things like, okay, this is fine. Do that now.
Yeah.
But also I think it's so often the partners that after the birth and after everything's happened, especially if they had some reluctancy before, they're the ones out the front with the flag.
Yes, yeah.
Have a home birth.
Yeah.
Like just do this thing, you know? And it can take the experience of that.
To transform people.
Yeah. And how do you explain that to somebody? And that's just sharing.
Yeah.
When I've had partners who've said that they've then spoken to friends or they've then spoken to colleagues or, these big burly guys on building sites going, oh, you should have a home birth. Like, this is what we did. You know, like the way that guys are then openly communicating and sharing their stories. Love that. Love that.
I am trying to make sure that I press upon women is it's not a failed experience if you transfer. Because what you are in is a model of care with someone like Lu that is doing all of your clinical safety and all of your antenatal appointments through the pregnancy. We then have this opportunity to birth at home. If for some reason, in the unusual circumstance that you did transfer, it's not a failed home birth because you are still in her model of care.
Yeah.
So what happens in those unusual circumstances where you do transfer? And look, to be clear for people, it's not often people are getting in their own car and driving in. It's not an emergency.
Yeah.
It's, what are some of the reasons that you could share around women that would transfer?
So firstly, it's absolutely not a failed home birth. It's actually a successful home birth.
Yeah.
Because the decision to transfer is not made lightly. And if the reason to transfer is made, it's for the safety of the woman and the baby. And it's a conversation. It's not like you say, often it is that we're travelling in a car. If we're travelling in an ambulance, then even in that experience, there's conversations happening around, this is what we need to do at this time, this is why. It's things that we've spoken about in the antenatal period. So I would speak to women about if something happened in the labour that completely left the realms of normal, if we were really concerned about the baby's heart rate, if the mum became very unwell, it's just so rare. If there was very thick meconium in the waters when the water's released, that would be a conversation and maybe a reason for transfer. If the baby needed more support than we were able to give after it was born, so we're skilled at providing resuscitation to babies. And we do like regular training on that. So it's not just about, doing that when we're in that setting. We have yearly training that we do together to be really skilled in that. Managing things like a shoulder dystocia at home, how we would manage that. If a woman had a bleed at home, so we know that we carry drugs and we are skilled to manage a postpartum hemorrhage. If the postpartum hemorrhage was getting to the point where we felt like we needed more support, then that would be a reason for transfer. So,
but you've managed it already.
Exactly.
And then you're just going for continued escalated care.
Absolutely. And the same with a baby. And it's just not very common. If something came up in the pregnancy where, like a rare pregnancy condition, preeclampsia, cholestasis, something like that would come up in the pregnancy that you felt like, that would be absolutely sharing of information on the reasons why it would be safer to birth in a hospital setting. And in all of these scenarios, I would go with the woman. So it's still, you've still got that continuity of care. And it is about the model of care. So it's the postpartum period. It's the unpacking of what happened in the birth experience. Still having that same midwife with you to go through all of that up until 7 weeks.
Because it's so amazing that after I go to a birth, I go home and sleep. And I check in with the woman to make sure she's all good. But I go to sleep. You get up and go back. It's amazing. So it's the same person, the same woman, your midwife, after you've had your baby, regardless of how long it took. She will get up the next day and come back and make sure that you and your baby are coping well, that you're feeding well, weighing your baby, making sure you're all good. Your midwife comes back, you still don't leave home and you're still being clinically supported. That's all coming back to you. You don't have to leave. It's no interruptions. It's no explaining what happened with the birth. It's you and
coming
you're back.
The on-call period doesn't stop when the woman's had the baby. So if you're leaving and saying, you can call me, whether you've been, it doesn't matter. They can call. They know that they can call. If there was something that they were really concerned about, they would be able to still pick up the phone. The phone doesn't go off.
No. And how long do you continue to look after women? How long are they in your care then after they've had their baby?
7 weeks.
7 weeks.
Postpartum, or just over 7 weeks postpartum. Which is amazing.
And
we wean off each other. So at the beginning, the visits are really close together, which is, beneficial for all parties. And then slowly as the weeks go by and women, gain independence and start, feeling really confident in what they're doing, then we are able to pull back and do less visits. And then usually by, the time we're saying goodbye, women are just thriving.
Wow. As a doula, I see all the different models of care. And you keep coming back to home birth. Any birth worker that you talk to that experiences every model of care, they keep coming back to home birth. There must be something about it.
100%. Well, I think about all of the women that I've supported over the years who are doulas themselves or midwives themselves who are choosing this model of care. That speaks for itself.
I think that people worry about pain. If I have a home birth, then there's no option for pain. And I always say to women, that's a massive psychological advantage. Because otherwise it's like being on a 2-day water fast and then all of a sudden you're at the steakhouse.
100%.
And you're like, give me everything. Do you find, and I certainly find this, women seem to manage pain differently at home than in the hospital. But we know there's the cycle of fear as well, and how all the conversations that we've had in the lead up to the birth
about what do you need? What are you going to need during this time? And these conversations with the people who will be in your birth space.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll often say to women, you will look for the person in the room who you think will buckle for you.
Yeah.
You know, and lock eyes there and be like, help me, the others are being too strong right now. Where actually deep down these women are just, they know they've pulled in this team for a reason. And I think it's really a massive part of our job to get women through that.
Yeah.
It's key.
Yeah.
You know, of like, if everything's fine, you're fine.
Yeah.
We can help you and hold you through this.
Yeah. This is what we do, right?
Yeah. And understanding the difference between pathological pain and physiological pain, or the intensity of that.
Yeah.
And understanding what's happening in your body.
Yeah.
You know, like if women have an understanding and they can keep connecting back to that.
Yeah.
What's actually happening in my body right now. And we can all do anything for a minute, you know?
I definitely find that there is something about women that choose to birth at home that make that choice that they're going to do the work.
100%.
And if women make that choice, decide they're going to go for it and do the work, again, not only are you starting from a place of safety, but you're also working with willing women.
100%.
Yeah.
And we don't know the deeper layers of stories for women. So, women who seek this model of care, they are looking for something different.
Yeah.
You know, and they know they have to go to the places that they have to go to birth their baby.
It's a totally different experience, isn't it?
And some women, they're not even worried about this part of it. They go, no, I've done hard things before.
Yeah.
I can do hard things. It's only a day in your whole life. I got that said to me by a dear friend, and it stuck with me, and I've shared it from the rooftops.
Do you need a big house to have a home birth?
You definitely do not. I've worked in some very, very small spaces.
Yeah.
I've got clients coming up, they don't have a lounge in their lounge room. Their lounge is so tiny.
Yeah.
They've got 2 little chairs.
But they can do this.
They can fit this pool in there.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing.
Is it messy?
Not really.
No.
It's it's well contained in the pool. And we're like wizards.
Yeah.
By the time we leave, it's like, it's
like
a magic
than what
trick.
we started.
Yeah, that's
We've
right.
made the beds.
Exactly.
And cleaned up the kitchen.
Yeah. And we're very efficient with like how to move a woman from one space to another without it being messy.
I imagine that there would be so many different women that reach out to you around getting support for their birth at home, and there would be phone calls from women that already know that they want to have a home birth, that are looking for their perfect midwife, and then there's women that are maybe in another model of care that are potentially considering understanding more so that they can change. Can you explain to me like the difference in the questions that you get and some of those questions that they're asking?
Yeah, for sure. So definitely I think there are the women who are already sort of seeking this model.
Yeah.
And they have a sort of a variety of questions coming from a bit of a knowledge base on home birth.
Yeah.
And then you've got women who are, currently in another model of care that have different questions. And often it comes back to safety. I think that's the main thing. What if something goes wrong? My partner is a bit nervous about being at home and not in a hospital setting. What do you see the advantages of being at home? This is currently what I'm experiencing. How would that look if I was having a home birth? I think a lot of women don't understand what their rights are and that they have the option to decline things, to ask questions, and that's actually part of the process rather than being given information and told, this is what you have to do now. Women will say, oh, I didn't know that I had the right to choose, or I didn't know I could say no to something, or I didn't know that I could say, can I think about that? Can I speak to my partner? Can I do some research before I make a decision? They don't know. So it's often those sorts of questions.
And that's the basis of the care that you provide in this model, is based around relationship and informed consent rather than around policy?
Absolutely. So it's woman-centred rather than policy-centred or, policy-driven. In saying that, women do have a right to decline things in a hospital setting as well. It's just whether they have that knowledge and know that they do have that choice. But certainly in a home birth model, the whole point of this model is that women are at the centre of the care.
So what are those questions typically that they're asking? Can you give examples of some of those questions?
I feel like the ones like, what if something goes wrong?
Yeah.
Is almost, it's like a can of worms, because you know, it's so rare actually that something does go wrong, but it's more about how would we manage things.
Yeah.
So it's not supporting a baby to breathe after they're born and having to do some basic steps to help a baby. That's not something going wrong. It's just how we would manage that in a home setting compared to how that would be managed in a hospital setting. So explaining different things like, if we were to do that, that we wouldn't cut and clamp your baby's cord, your baby would remain with you, it wouldn't be taken to resuscitate and away from where you are. You know, women, they have heard stories from their friends around things that may have happened. So that's a common thing of, this happened to my friend, what would happen if the cord was around the baby's neck? That's a really common question, actually. Where actually, that's just like, oh, we just unwrap the cord from around the baby's neck. And women sort of go, oh, like I thought that was a thing. When actually, the majority of times, it's not a thing at all. So I feel like people don't even know what they're asking sometimes. It's just the conversations they've had. You know, if you've got friends who have got birth trauma, and we know that 1 in 3 women experience birth trauma, and they're sharing their stories with their friends and haven't had an opportunity to debrief or unpack their birth or have it explained to them why things have happened, then often those women feel the need to share their stories, which can sometimes hinder other women's experiences.
I've heard you talk before about coming from a place of safety in terms of when women go into spontaneous labour, that you know that that's actually the safest way for the labour to start. And when we look at how that is facilitated and supported in a home birth model of care, that actually is the beginning of a safer birth.
Absolutely. So it's exactly what you've said. That's exactly what we know. So once we start managing birth, we very often need to keep managing birth. In fact, we can't not. But when you have a relationship with a woman and you get to know that woman and her family, and you're going into her environment, which you're also familiar with, and that she's inviting you into, and then she's going into spontaneous labour, it's very clear when things leave the realms of normal. And not common, actually. So, you know, as midwives, we work in a way that you're constantly just observing, but not needing to necessarily do anything. You're just being a guardian of the space.
I've seen, and it's really difficult to verbalise and pinpoint and really fully grasp. It is just something about you. There is something about your nature, about who you are, about the way that you make people feel when they're in your presence. It is very hard to describe, and I've often stood in the shower trying to think about how I capture this, because I can't quite put it into words. There's something about you, and I think it's how people describe like women and being around a really wise, experienced woman that has supported and been around all kinds of different women in all kinds of religions, socio-economic backgrounds, in so many different contexts, with so many different personalities and so many different situations in their life that bring, and there's no shortcut to experience, right? And working in that way with people in that manner that brings you to a point now in your life that when you wrap your arm around someone, that I see what happens to them, because it's the same way that I feel when you put your arm around me.
Oh, that's lovely.
Is you just kind of go, oh, Lou's here, we're okay.
Oh, that's lovely.
You know, and I see women respond to that in birth. And what is it about the things that you have done in your life in this support role that bring you to a point in your life where that's what you bring to the table?
Oh, that's a lot.
It's a big question.
Yeah.
I get it.
I think it's more with life experiences, absolutely. And just, it's just always been there for me in the space. Like, it feels the most comfortable. Like, I feel very comfortable holding women in this space. And you know, the first birth I attended, I was 17, and it was my best friend in high school. And then from there, I guess it was just this, like this deep feeling that I would always be in this work in some way, and then just letting that unfold, and then the choices that I made to birth my own babies, and then supporting women who made so many different decisions to me. You know, I've supported women in so many different settings now, and some where our philosophies completely aligned, and other times where they didn't. But the main thing for those women was that they knew that I supported their choices, and that they could make different choices to me. And that's not what it was about. It was actually that they felt respected and safe in the choices that they were making. And it just keeps growing every birth that you do.
So you've also worked with the most vulnerable people in our community, like women that are very young, women that have dependency issues, women that are in a system looking at whether they're actually going to be able to keep their babies or not.
Yes.
And that is really, really hard work, beautiful work, but you're really getting to know women on a whole other level when you start to work with women in so many different aspects.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that was challenging, being in that role, and personally challenging, because you're sitting with things that feel really uncomfortable, and then trying to be able to provide support in a way that I felt comfortable, that was also supportive, and, you know, helping the women to feel comfortable as well. And the exposure that they've had, and realising that sometimes people's lives are not what they seem. And certainly I think in being a midwife, in comparison to being a doula. So I feel like as a doula, often women would seek us out and they were wanting something different from a model of care. We're working in a hospital setting as a midwife. The stories that women would tell and share very early on would often be quite eye-opening. And just realising that we're just skimming the surface a lot of the time. And now working in this model, it's so often that you can go to a deeper level with women.
All the language that you have used has really captured actually the enormity of the support that you bring to the table, because you have this depth of experience of working with women in so many different ways. When you walk in the door to someone, when you're walking into birth, that's what allows you to walk in and kind of go, this is okay here. You know, we're actually doing okay.
Everything's fine. And when you see the partners go, oh, and then go, okay, right, everyone's relaxed. The birth that we did recently, when the dad's like, I'm freaking out, Lu, I'm freaking out, I'm a control freak, and he goes, you look so calm, you all look so calm, I'm trying to be calm. So it was that, you know, that sense for him of like, everyone else is fine, I need to be fine. I need to be fine.
So Lu, where is the most unusual, you just would not expect to catch a baby there?
So it wasn't unusual in the place that I caught the baby, because the woman was in the water. But it was my best friend. And it was 6 days before I had my own baby. And the midwife wasn't there. And so I was in pregnancy overalls. And decided to roll up the legs of my overalls and put one leg in the pool to catch her baby for her. And
it was just happening so fast.
It was happening so fast.
And the midwife's on the way.
Midwife is on her way.
It becomes clear.
I'm like, oh, the baby's coming. And then with my little experience of that at the time, I then caught the baby and then put the baby onto the mum's back and then went, shit, now what? How am I? I'm like, the baby's here, but I can't get the baby to the mum because of the umbilical cord and everything. So the baby's crying, all is well. I've still got one leg in the pool. And we had to work out how to manoeuvre her to flip her completely over so that I could hand her baby.
Because they can't go back under the water.
That's right. But that I did know. Luckily.
I just got this image of her in the bath with the baby on her back.
It's like, oh, it's okay. Like, all is okay. pool is okay. That's right. Skin to skin. Skin to skin. So we flipped her over.
Oh, how good.
And then I hopped out of the pool.
Yeah.
Yep.
With your overalls on.
Yep.
38 weeks, were you?
I was, 39 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay, Lu, for a first-time mum that has maybe heard, maybe there's a lot of noise in the background, whatever family experiences, the experiences of her mother, experiences from friends, how can you inspire someone like that to know what's possible in any model of care?
I think, like for me personally, I was lucky enough to have exposure to home birth from a young age, from a family member who'd had home births. So for me, I had this opportunity of hearing these positive stories and then just made that decision on how I wanted to birth my babies. And Ria Dempsey, our incredible childbirth educator and doula in Australia, speaks so regularly about the way that we share stories can inspire women to, to change their own deep philosophies around birth, spark interest, all of those things. So I feel like everyone sharing their stories, the positive stories being shared, can really inspire women. So, hearing stories about women who've had doulas and women who are choosing home birth for their first babies. That is a question that we get asked. Should I wait until my second baby? And I would absolutely say no to that. Like if you're a healthy, well woman, then put yourself in this model of care. Give yourself the best opportunity to get the birth that you hope and dream of. Because this is where you're going to get it, actually. And you're going to be working with people who understand it and are motivated to support you to get through.
That have a vested interest and really care about that happening for you.
100%.
Yeah.
And that you haven't got a whole lot of different, philosophies and personalities and views on birth and all of that coming into your birth space, which can really alter everything that happens. So, I'm in a very privileged position of watching first-time mums in all of their power. And then what a way to begin your mothering journey. From a place of, fuck, I can do anything. If I just birthed a baby in my lounge room, I can do anything.
I often hear from women that I'm so interested in home birth, but I'm going to go and have my first baby in the hospital, and if it goes well, then the second time round I'll have my baby at home. And with a doula, yes, your chances are definitely higher, but particularly in a private model of care, you got Buckleys of getting that birth that you want the first time round. More so in the public hospital, but still a small chance.
It just feels like it's against all odds, really. There's often a battle. There's often conversations that you can't unhear. And even if you still manage to, stay strong with your belief system around how you want things to go, there's a pushback. For me, working in that model of care as a midwife, there was a pushback. I had to keep guard almost, like you're potentially avoiding conversations that could change outcomes for women. It makes it tricky.
What's your midwife superpower? What makes you different to everyone else?
Oh gosh, that's such a funny question, isn't it? I feel like, because I feel so safe in the environment, I do feel like I come in with a sense of safety. I feel like it just it does spill out. It's like I'm just zapping everyone in the room with a little bit of like, we're all good here. Everything's good.
If you had a song that was playing when you walked in, what's your walk-in song?
Let's get this party started. That'll do.
What do you daydream about if you're at a really long birth and you're starting to get some of these ones? What do you daydream about?
I feel like I'm so often thinking, I've got to chase those bloods and I've got to call those 3 women tomorrow and rebook their appointments. And then focus back on the woman. And then, your mind goes off into other places. And then I can't dream about hopping into bed until I'm at home and getting into bed. That's dangerous. Otherwise I end up in the bathroom cooling down my face and All of those things.
What's your routine when you get home from a birth?
Oh, look, I've got a few funny things. So if it's in the morning and I'm actually going to sleep, then I come in, have a shower and go to bed.
Yeah.
I don't often eat, actually.
Yeah.
I'll just hop into bed.
Yeah.
But if I get home in the afternoon, then I won't hop into my bed. So I'll have a shower and I'll sleep on the lounge. So I take my pillow out to the lounge and I sleep on the lounge because I need the activity of, like, if my husband's home or the light's coming in, I don't want to have like a solid sleep so that I can then go back to bed like at a normal time and try and sleep through the night.
What do women do with their placentas at home?
Oh, all the things that we would offer in the hospital setting.
Yeah.
So some women will choose to encapsulate their placenta, which I can do for them. So that makes that pretty easy because then I would take it with me. Some women choose to bury it.
Yeah.
And some women are like, oh, can you just take it, Lu?
Yeah.
So I've got a really healthy garden.
Stop it!
No, it's not as healthy as my midwife had like rose bushes for miles, and we were sure that all of the placentas were planted underneath the rose bushes. So it's nothing that admirable. Yeah.
That's the one thing I'm not allowed to talk about at home is placentas. Rob will listen to anything else. I can tell him anything else, but you mention the word placenta and he
what the heck? I feel like sometimes my kids would open my fridge and go, Mum's home. There's a placenta bucket in there.
What's in your glove box right now, Lu?
There's nothing fancy in my glove box.
No.
I did listen to the interview of Gail's where she's got her little sign and thought, that's quite a smart idea. But I feel like I've definitely, hazards on, left stuff on the side of the road, raced it into the inside of the house and then gone and parked the car.
Yeah.
But no, my glove box is very boring. Maybe like a cloth to clean my car.
Any hectic pets?
No hectic pets anymore.
No.
But my dog was named Braxton.
Oh, like Braxton Hicks.
I know, right? But it wasn't. We didn't do that on purpose. Brooke just named our dog, and I was like, well, there you go. It all just aligns with our family.
Yesterday, because you and I chat every day, pretty much.
All the time.
All the time, constantly.
Yeah.
And you called me yesterday because we're talking about planning today, and I'd been at a birth the night before, and it wasn't even that I'd been awake for a really long time, because sometimes we can be awake for 2 days. Mm-hmm. And I was just tired, and I just burst into tears, and I was like, Lu, I'm so tired. And, this work is really hard, and you have given your life to this. Mm-hmm. It's who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It becomes who we are.
It does. And, you miss birthday parties, you miss really important life events, things that are important to people that you put aside in your calendar, and you compromise your health, and you are always in the front of mind thinking this woman's experience is the most important thing right now.
Absolutely.
Even before you.
This is true. You're going to make my eyes smart.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it worth it, Lu?
100%.
Yeah.
It is 100%. It's a lot. And there's been things that, we've all missed that you think, shit, like that was important. But in doing this work, you make a commitment to the women and their families. And that's really, really important. And it's important that women know that you're doing that for them as well. It is actually part of it. There are occasionally times where we can't be available, where we may be at another birth or a life event happens that changes things. But I feel like that's so rare that happens. But, my family, we have had things on that have been important, and they have a really deep understanding of the importance of the work as well.
Yeah.
So, when Mum walks out mid-birthday party or Christmas Day, it's just the way it goes. And it's okay.
Yeah.
I missed something with my daughter a couple of weeks ago. She's getting married and was going bridal shopping, and she said to me, the woman needs you much more today than I do, Mum. So go and be with the woman.
And people don't realise you don't make that sacrifice to not look after women in a gold standard model of care. You're not messing around. You're not messing around with their clinical safety.
Yeah.
You're not messing around with their baby safety, because you have a relationship with that family.
Yeah.
And that family comes first over you, over your family, over everything.
Yeah. Then leaving to go to them and switching off and going, this is actually where I need to be, like I did last week. You get in your car and you go, and then that's what you focus on.
Yeah.
And it feels right, actually. You know, being on call is not for the faint-hearted.
No.
You know, the reality is most nights I hop in my own bed and I wake up there. And if you don't, it's because you were the woman.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My boys, even this morning when I woke up and Dane was like, oh, Mum, you're still here, that's so good. Or he'll say, oh, you were at the birth, I heard you come home.
Yeah.
Was it feet first? Was it head first? Was it good? How many hours did it take? You know, like they're really getting to the stage where...
Understanding.
And he's 10,
yeah, understanding.
He's, oh, that sounds like a good birth. That sounds good. You know?
Avoid the feet first.
Yes. But can you have a breech baby at home?
You can have a breech baby at home.
Yeah.
I think most of the home birth midwives in Sydney have supported someone to have a breech baby.
Yeah.
Sometimes women are in the pool and you think, oh, that baby hasn't got a lot of hair.
Yeah.
And you realise it's a bottom.
So that happens, but you've got the skills.
And we're skilled. And that is part of the training that we do as well.
Yeah.
To, you know, the same as with shoulder dystocia or managing a bleed or resuscitation, anything like that. That's part of the skills of what we learn to manage that.
The ongoing professional education that you have to do is double what a hospital midwife does.
100%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you ever go to those courses and get side eyes from hospital midwives?
Well, it's usually all of us crew all together, all the home birth crew together, so it's just a nice catch up, really.
Oh, good.
You know? All these crazies together.
Yeah.
You know, but then you get to learn from everyone's experiences. So there's a lot of information sharing at those events as well.
Yeah.
And then usually a nice lunch. So, yeah, it's good.
Nice. Thanks so much, Lu.
That's okay.
Thanks for doing this. I think we just have to work out how to get out of this pool, Lu.
Who's going first?
Yeah.
You go first. Then you can help me out.